morning and welcome back to the channel. And today we're actually going to be talking about engine oils. And all the information that I'm going to give on each one of these engine oils and everything else is actually from the manufacturer and their technical data sheets. So this information that I'm going to give you is not my personal opinion or anything like that. It's actually data straight from the manufacturer on the flash points and everything else with the oils, and just explain a little bit about the oils, because there's a little bit of controversy out there about the oils that we use and some that other competitors use, and there's also some false statements being made about the oil. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to address that today. We're going to talk about the oils and why, in my opinion, oils are labeled specific, that if it's a side-by-side oil, a UTV, ATV oil, or other oil manufacturers that does not have a designation for that oil on their website or on the bottle. So first off, let's talk about oil vaporizing or evaporating. Oil is not going to evaporate because it doesn't contain water. And if it does contain water, it's a small parts per million amount of water that is in the oil. But the oil itself, the oil, does not evaporate. It's called what is a flash point. And that's the burn off, or the point of when the oil starts to burn off and get to ignition for it to light on fire. These oils that I have sitting in front of me, or any type of oil, if the oil is getting to the flash point, your engine is basically done. If your oil internally ignites or is burning off, other than seeping through the valves and being burnt through combustion, that it's igniting in the crankcase, you have a severe issue and problem. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because, like, the flash point of AMS oil right here, on the flash point of that is 242 degrees Celsius, which equates to 468 degrees Fahrenheit. So if your crankcase is getting up over 400 degrees inside the crankcase, you have a really serious problem inside the engine for these oils to, basically burn off. I've heard comments from an individual that says, oh, that Maxima oil, I tried Maxima oil before and it steams off. Well, wait, oil can't steam because it's not water. Water steams off. Antifreeze will steam off because it contains water. The only way that you can have steam is if you have H2O in a mixture of the chemical. That is what will steam off, because each chemical has its own flash point, steam off point, or whatever else. So let's just talk about it. So AMS oil and Maxima and Lucas, they have designations on their bottle, and I'll show you. This specifically says side-by-side engine oil, Lucas oil, ATV, UTV oil. Ultra One Plus does not have a specific designation for ATV and UTV. They're all motorcycle oils. So this is going to be an opinion-based fact here, and it's not even a fact because it's opinion-based, and it's my opinion that I have run oils for over 20 plus years in my ATVs, UTVs, side-by-sides, all of my four-wheelers, dirt bikes, and everything that I always had. All the oil that I always ran had a designation specific for that vehicle. It's like me having a diesel truck. I'm not going to put motorcycle oil that has a motorcycle designation into my diesel engine in my truck. And the reason why is because each one of these oils that has a designation has been specifically formulated for that type of engine. UTV engines run at a higher RPM range for longer periods of time than motorcycles. And the reason why is because of the CVT clutching to run it at 30, 40 miles per hour, you're 5,000 to 6,000 RPMs. Where if we have a motorcycle that has 6 gears that we can switch through on the highway, is running just like a car, 1,500 to 2,000 RPMs. So the oil is specifically designed to handle a high RPM range without breaking down and ruining the viscosity of that oil. Oils need to have a designation for what it's used for. You can't just take regular car oil and put it in a tractor and trailer engine. That's the reason why that they have designations for a diesel engine oil, your regular conventional for your cars, so forth and so on. And from my experience, Lucas, AMSOIL, and Maxima are the 3 top leading oils for in the side-by-side industry, motorcycle, dirt bike industry. So again, AMSOIL, for this oil to flash off and to burn off inside your engine, other than the engine burning it through the valves and through the combustion system, this flash point is 468 degrees Fahrenheit. So Lucas, that I don't have here at the moment, the flash point of Lucas is 450 degrees Fahrenheit. The Maxima oil that is right here, the flash point of this oil is 428 degrees. And this is all information you can find on their website. It's called the technical data sheets. And this Ultra One Plus oil, its flash point is at 419 degrees. So it is the lowest out of all the oils that is here and that I have technical data sheets for on the flash points of the oil igniting and burning. And that's if you take the oil, and I'm sure some of you probably have seen it on TV or other places. They take the oil, they put it on a steel tray, they start heating the steel tray up, and as the oil, where the concentrated heat is in the middle where the oil is, when the oil starts to separate and push away, is whenever it's hitting its flash point. That's whenever it starts to smoke. And that's near combustion. The hotter the oil can withstand, the more lubricant can stay within the bearings and within the engine. So if you have a lower flash point using that standard of oil pushing away from heat, the higher the flash point of oil, the better lubrication you're going to have under extreme temperatures. But again, your side-by-side is not meant to run under extreme temperatures because they have an oil cooler on it to keep the engine oil cool. So we're trying to keep the target engine temperature, oil temperature, within a target range of what your antifreeze temperature is running. So that way we can keep the engine oil cool. We don't have to worry about it separating and moving away from hot parts because we're not getting anywhere near those temperatures or anything else. And as far as I know, every side-by-side out there, other than an air-cooled side-by-side, and I have not seen one of those in a long time, they all use antifreeze. I have a Hisun Axis 500 in the shop here that we're going to be designing aftermarket parts for, and it has its own oil cooler that is mounted in front of the radiator for whenever the electric fan comes on. It cools the engine oil. The X-MODZ have their own engine oil cooler on them. Polaris has an engine oil cooler. And the reason why these engine oil coolers are there to keep your engine oil cool so it doesn't break down, so you have the longevity of it. From my experience, again, is if the oil is not designated a specific oil for that type of machine, I don't run it. So I'm not just going to go to the local auto parts store and buy a couple quarts of Pennzoil 1040 that's meant for a car and put in my side-by-side. Could you do it? Sure. Maybe down the road there may be repercussions from it. Of course. So my whole point is if you're going to use an engine oil for your machine, make sure it has the proper designation on the oil for the type of machine that you're running it for. You know, there's a lot of engine oil manufacturers have stuff out there that's specific to lawn care equipment, to two-stroke oils and diesel oils, regular car oils, and there's specific weights. And the reason why there's specific weights is because the oil pumps and the oil ports inside the engine were designed and engineered for a cold startup of a 1040 with the viscosity rate, and I don't know what the viscosity rates are. I mean, I can give you the number, but I don't know what they are broken down, like what it 100% means. But the oil ports and everything that's inside the engines have been designed to be able to carry a 1040 oil at negative whatever temperature, and the thickness of that oil will be for the pump to be able to pump it and lubricate the engine upon startup. We don't know, or I don't know, that the viscosity is the same in a car engine oil versus the side-by-side oil. And I didn't get that far into my research of doing that to compare those numbers, because we're a service center and a repair shop and facility, so we buy the stuff that corresponds with what we're servicing. We have Bel-Ray oil for Harley Davidson, we have Bel-Ray metric oil for metric motorcycles, we have AMS oil, we have Lucas, we have Maximal oil, we have all these oils that's specifically designed and designated, and so does every other shop out there across the United States that services ATVs and UTVs. Some of them use the Polaris kits, and we have Polaris kits here. We have Can-Am kits from Can-Am here. We have all these designated kits to change oil for these machines. So this is just basically a little education of why these are designated ATV, UTV, and some of them are only designated for motorcycle use. So I hope that helps you a little bit in understanding the oils and what the flash points are and why they burn off. I personally have been using Maximal oil for 20 plus years. Maximal oil has been around since 1979, and they came into the racing market whenever motorcycle racing and ATV racing was starting to be a thing back in the 70s, late 70s, and they have been doing nothing but improving all the way up to today. Ultra One has only been around since 2004. They're not, I don't know anything about them, so I can't speak about them. And AMS oil, again, first in synthetics since the 70s. So I hope that helps you out a little bit understanding the oils and what oils you should be running in your ATV and UTV. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or go to our Facebook page, Crawlworks Power Sports, and send us a message, and we would be happy to send you any type of technical data that we can find to help you better your decision on purchasing the right oil and oil change kits for your UTV. On a second note is, our operations are still operating, but we are operating very minimally as of right now, because we are getting ready to move within the very short period in time to a completely new shop, a new store area, and everything like that. We are expanding. We are moving into a much better environment. This environment that we're in right now was just basically our first shop to get our foot in the ground, get our business off the ground. It's doing very well, so now we want to move into a nicer, better shop, a nicer store area, and I really just don't want to keep putting money into somebody else's building that doesn't appreciate it or appreciate us as a tenant. So again, that's our video. Hope you helped you out here with the oil. If you have any questions, like I said, leave a comment, reach out to us through our Facebook page. You can always find us on social media. Our website is crawlworks.co, and our phone number is 484-355-9966 if you want to call us directly and have any questions whatsoever. So again, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned something, because that's our whole key point of making these videos, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good week.